Very valuable.
That man is one of the most authentic speakers I have ever seen.
It was honestly one of the best presentations that I've been to here at the Founders House.
Great, inspiring.
I love listening to him speak because as a founder, it can be very intimidating, approaching social media, building your confidence up. He really shared a lot about his journey and building that confidence throughout it, and it's very valuable for me.
Learned a lot. I just love the story, the flipstick story from beginning to end, where he's came from, how far he's got, the people that he's learned, how to market, how to handle social media, even when he doesn't really want to be a part of that social atmosphere, I guess you could say. And I just really love the story, and I'm hoping that I can follow that one day.
So this is my first time hearing about Flip6, but it was honestly one of the best presentations that I've been to here at the Founders House. Not only was he extremely vulnerable and transparent in his conversation, but it showed me as a founder how I can be more vulnerable and transparent in my own social media. So thank you so much. Thank you for sharing with me, for empowering me, because I'm going to take these same tools and take it back to my community. And I know that I'm going to be even more impactful to the community that I serve. So thank you so much.
So I've been in this space for a hot minute. I coach a lot of coaches on how to get on stage and how to share their voice, how to get behind a camera and share their voice. That man is one of the most authentic speakers I have ever seen. I think everybody stopped, put down their phone, stopped talking to each other to listen and pay attention to what he was saying. So he has this ability to really captivate the audience, and it was so much of his truth and authenticity that came out. And that's why I'm back here talking to him, because it really touched my heart too.
Listen, y'all, so I am definitely the worst on this stage for social media, okay? I don't even know how I got on the stage, but a few thousand. But look, here's the thing, like, to be honest, I didn't know social media. I just did the things I was good at. And so for me, what was good at was coming to conferences like this and then doing shit that no one thought I would do to make a big splash. So one of the first big moments that we had was I applied to get on Shark Tank. I got from 40,000 down to the final 250, and then I got cut. And so I'm like, okay, I got to figure something else out. I need another celebrity. What about, I don't know, Snoop Dogg? And so I went to a conference, and I knew I had to get Snoop Dogg's attention, and I took my product, Flipstick, which is a phone accessory, and I was going to ask him a question, but they said, no more questions. So I took my phone, and I stuck it to the wall behind me. Okay, and it uses our synthetic CT adhesive that's built into our product. And you know, Snoop was on the stage, and he was high, and he was just like, that motherfucker just stuck his motherfucking phone on the wall. And everyone in the crowd was like, Snoop is really, really high. And he's just like, no, I want to talk to that guy with the sticky phone. He may have the thing that's going to change the world. Get the sticky phone up here. I want to hear about the sticky phone. And I took it up to him, and I had made this product with his face on it. And he went nuts for this thing. He loved it. And that was the first time we ever went viral. And not only did we go viral, it turns out that Snoop Dogg knew some people over at Shark Tank. He made a phone call, and we ended up getting on the show. And so even though at the time I think I had, maybe like 5,000 followers, it was not a lot. But social media and just going out and doing something crazy, like, y'all really helped us get there, because y'all amplified it, and then it helped us get on the Shark Tank. Yeah, I'm a little different because I had no social media following before I built the company. But I will say, I didn't really think we had a tribe. But I remember my marketing guy comes to me one time. He's like, Akeem, bro, you got to see this. And we had this customer that had bought our product, and he was deaf. And so we make a little product that has a little sticky pad on it. You stick your phone to a wall. We're thinking, oh, people are making TikTok videos with it, whatever, right? Well, because he was deaf, he didn't text people, right? He wanted to be able to FaceTime. But there's a problem. How do you sign to someone on FaceTime when you're holding your phone in your hand? So he was telling his community about how they could use our product, be out and about, stick it to the wall, and have a full conversation with someone on FaceTime. And he was selling tons of product. And I was just like, wow. Like, here's someone just organically discovered our product, and he has his own tribe, and he's bringing his tribe into ours. And it just made me incredibly grateful. And I think one of the most powerful things you can do with your social media when it comes to growing your business, it's great to tell your story, but it's more powerful to tell your customers' stories. And as you tell their stories, man, you see your tribe just, it explodes. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, I'm still trying to figure out the mind shift that I need to figure out. But you know what? This is what I kind of like. This is what I stumbled into. Let's say, right? It's like, you talked about storytelling, and what I found is as I started to tell my authentic story, even if I wasn't getting tons of likes and tons of follows and tons of views, like the people that heard it that mattered, they really mattered. And I'll give you just a couple examples. And the reason I give this example, before I go into it is, if you go out and you share your authentic story with people on social media, you only need an audience of one to change everything. And remember that. You're not trying to reach everyone. You just need one. And I'm going to give you a couple of those one people that I reached. One of them was a buyer at Target. She saw the post. She loved our product. We had no business being in Target. We were a teeny tiny little brand. No business. When I went and had the meeting with her, before we even started getting into it, she's like, yeah, so I'm thinking an end cap. If you know how much an end cap costs at a retail, you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yeah, I'm thinking about an end cap. We're going to start with 400 stores, and then I'm thinking for the holidays, we're going to go ahead and do 4,000 stores. And I'm thinking, actually we want to redesign the packaging. We're going to get your packaging redesigned. And then we think, here's what our customers love. Let me tell you about our other. She just went in. And I'm just like, what's going on here? She's like, oh, I just love your story. I just love your story. And we had another instance. A post went out. It got covered in our local newspaper. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. No one in here has read the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, okay? However, a curator at the Smithsonian Museum of Natural History read the St. Louis Post-Dispatch from a post they saw online. They called me up and they said, hey, we got an exhibit coming up on the history of cell phones. We want you a part of the exhibit. I said, are you sure? I don't know if you want me. I get to the exhibit, okay? To the left of me is the woman that invented the text message, okay? To the right of me is the CEO of Qualcomm, who makes every chip and every phone in everyone's pocket. And I'm just looking around and I'm like, I don't think I'm supposed to be here. And I walk into the exhibit, they got this big old picture of me, and I walk up to the curator, I'm like, why am I here? And he's like, you gotta understand, Akeem. If we only have the person that invented text messages, and we only have the CEO that makes all the chips and phones, what is a little 8-year-old kid who's gonna come in here, what are they gonna think they're capable of? Are they really gonna believe they can go out and do all of these things? Maybe not. But do they think they can do your story? I said, yeah, I have a pretty low bar, I appreciate that. But it was one of those things where the accessibility mattered, right? And that led to so many other opportunities. But if you go out, just tell your story through social media. Don't be afraid. And I talk about failure more than I talk about success. But it's important. And like I said, audience of one. That's all you're preaching to. Look, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I don't care what you think at all. Okay? And you know why? Because I like me. I remember, I'm not gonna get into this whole story, but once upon a time, I had to wrap a pitch for my business to convince Sean Diddy Combs to buy a whole bunch of product from me. Let's not get into it. However, I get on the stage, right? I do the rap. I think I killed it. The first person that comes up to me is like, dang, man, I can't believe you got on that stage and embarrassed yourself. And the other day, now what ended up happening is it all worked out in the end. They bought a ton of product, made a whole bunch of introductions, great. We ended up getting into AT&T stores because they were the sponsor of this event. It was awesome. So I was doing a podcast recently, and they were doing a fact check. So I had to go back and ask them for the video of me doing this. And I go back and look at it, and I was on the stage with DC Young Fly. He was doing a comedy show, and I was rapping. I get on the stage, I don't remember this, and they were roasting the hell out of me. They were talking about my pants. I had a fanny pack on. They're like, you look busted with your shoes on. They were, because I had flips, it's a long story. Listen, they were talking so bad about me. The crowd was laughing at me, and I'll be honest, I don't remember any of it because I was back in the VIP right after that getting that money, okay? So, look. It doesn't matter what people say, to me at least, it doesn't matter. Because I'm just like, look, I like me. If people crack jokes, I crack jokes back, and it just is what it is. But I know everybody's not like that, but for me, I'm just like, cool.